of the Eastern Seas. I'll be breaking down his ability kit to its entirety, all the bits, tricks, and things that make him tick. Ao Kuang is a part of the mage class in Smite, so he deals magical damage, and being a part of that class gives him passive power as he levels up, maxing out at 40 power at level 20. Ao Kuang is typically played within the jungle. Even though he's a mage, he plays much more like an auto-attack assassin, even having melee auto-attacks.
Know your enemy, know yourself, and victory will be assured. Unless you're fighting a dragon, of course.
Ao Kuang's passive is called Dragon King Sword. Every 10 seconds, Ao Kuang gains a stack on his sword. With a stack, his next non-ultimate ability that does damage to an enemy god, has that ability cooldown reduced, and Ao Kuang is healed by a percentage of his max health. If Ao Kuang executes a target, then Ao Kuang gains a full stacks of his sword. The cooldown reduction on that damaging ability is 2 seconds, and he receives a heal worth of his maximum health of 3% of Ao Kuang's maximum health, and a max stack count of 3 stacks on the sword. This is a passive you don't need to think about at all, but things to keep in mind is starting an engagement, preferably if you want to head into a fight, starting with all 3 of your stacks, as throughout that fight you'll just be using your abilities more with the reduction, making your abilities come up extremely fast while also sustaining yourself throughout the fight.
You cannot hurt a dragon! But that was a good effort.
Now onto Ao Kuang's first ability, which is called Water Illusion. Ao Kuang teleports a short distance in a direction he is facing and enters stealth, leaving behind a water illusion of Ao Kuang behind with a watery patch surrounding it. Ao Kuang stays in stealth for 5 seconds or until he takes damage. Ao Kuang can reactivate this ability to deal damage to enemies in the watery patch surrounding that water illusion. The max damage of this ability does 270 base damage plus 70% of your magical power. If you choose to reactivate the ability, you lose the stealth, as well as auto-attacking using your 3, his 4, but using your 2 keeps you in stealth, allowing you to engage with your stealth if wanted. But you should only use this ability to engage if you know you'll be able to use your 4 to escape safely after the kill.
To me, my brethren!
Ao Kuang's second ability is called Dragon Call. Ao Kuang summons 6 dragons to his side. Every successful basic attack towards an enemy, a dragon will dive onto the enemy, doing additional damage. The ability finishes after all 6 dragons are gone, or after 10 seconds the dragons will disappear. If Ao Kuang still has at least 1 dragon, Ao Kuang can activate this ability again, sending all of the remaining dragons in a ranged attack, dealing damage to the first enemy hit, and slowing them. The max damage of a single dragon does 65 base damage plus 30% of your magical power. The max range damage per dragon remaining does 40 base damage plus 13% of your magical power, and a slow of 30% for 1 second plus a quarter second for each remaining dragon that you send out. This single ability dictates that he is auto-attack based mage, with short auto-attack chain allowing him to almost instantly get all 6 dragons out onto a target at once, doing massive damage at late game, as since he is a mage, it scales massively into the late game, with all dragons doing 550 base damage plus 180% of your magical power at max level just from auto-attacking.
A mighty sword!
Ao Kuang's third ability is called Wild Storm. Ao Kuang sends forth lightning from his sword, doing damage in a cone in front of Ao Kuang. Whoever hits with this ability, any dragons made from his 2 Dragon's Call are sent to those targets hit. The max damage of this ability does 270 base damage plus 40% of your magical power. This ability has an extremely low cooldown, so it's extremely nice for clearing jungle camps and never have to worry if it's going to be off cooldown. With an only 7-second cooldown, it comes off extremely quickly, extremely fast, allowing you to spam the ability to clear anything with ease.
Oh, I suppose this is another fine day for a battle. I am a bit hungry.
Ao Kuang's fourth and final ability is his ultimate. It is called King of the Eastern Seas. Ao Kuang grabs a single target, damaging and knocking them high into the sky. If the target is below a health threshold, a marker will appear to indicate. Ao Kuang will also reveal his true form, transforming into a dragon and executing them, restoring his health. After transforming, while flying high up into the air, Ao Kuang then picks a new target to land, dealing damage to enemies within a small area where he lands. The max damage of the knockup itself does 290 base damage plus 50% of your magical power, while the execute threshold of the enemy's health is while they are under 30% health of their maximum health, you may execute that target. If Ao Kuang executes a target, he receives 30% of his maximum health as a heal. And upon landing, the max landing damage of 300 base damage plus 50% of your magical power. This provides a very safe way to leave a fight if needed. After you've blown up a target near death, blow down to that 30% to instantly kill them, and makes enemies hesitant to fight you, as you don't need to kill them. You only need to get them down to 30% of their HP, then you can chomp them, executing them, and then killing them instantly. It's nice to actually save to use on tanks, as typically tanks have more health, so you obtain more value from instantly killing them rather than a squishy, as tanks have typically 3,000 or above health, while squishies have less, and 30% of a tank's health is more than what a squishy might have. That was Ao Kuang's entire kit, so now I'll get into some useful tips to help you excel at Ao Kuang, as well as how you should be playing Ao Kuang in general to maximize his usefulness.
I love it when it crumbles!
Ao Kuang plays like a magical auto-attack jungler, so you want to build power as well as attack speed, so you can get the most out of his second ability, as well as having enough damage to kill the backline quickly. A good example build for this patch is Eye of the Jungle, Warlock Staff, Bancroft's Talon, Telekine's Ring, Demonic Grip, Cyclopean Ring, and then when you reach level 20, upgrade your starter to Protector of the Jungle. Then finally upgrading to Nimble Bancroft's Talon, and good relics to get are Blink, and then beads in that order.
Cunning. Very cunning.
Ao Kuang's strongest point is late game, as all of his abilities don't have a lot of base damage, but very nice power scaling, providing him a lot of damage as the game gets later. Being able to almost instantly blow someone up with your 2 and 4, just those two abilities, as well as your auto attacks, of course. With your entire plan early game is to farm, as you have a little kill pressure early game, extremely low.
A deadly tool for a deadly world.
Ao Kuang just wants to farm, roaming the jungle, and doesn't have much kill pressure until he gains his ultimate, as many people don't expect to instantly die from his execute, because so many people are used to playing around with 100% of their health, and not 70% of their health, but for the most part, staying safe, farming effectively and efficiently into the later parts of the game when team fights start to occur.
A dragon must be feared.
During a team fight, to get the most out of Ao Kuang, you want to hover around far from your team, looking for a way onto the enemy backline, so you can try to kill the enemy backline and get out safely, using either your 4 on whoever you can, or your 1 for the stealth. If you use your 4, and you're flying up into the air and looking down, if you have enough health to re-engage, you have a nice splash of damage to come back to, joining back into the fight with. The main thing you want to keep in mind is when it is safe to engage, and when you're able to get off all of your auto attacks to the backline without their front line, typically their support, peeling you away. And honestly, that's something you need to play around with, that you'll need to find yourself, when you can go in and burst all of your kit, or how the game is going. If they have a peel heavy support, if they don't, if their support likes some more dive with the other dive characters like the jungler and solo laner, that is entirely game to game.
For future use.
Okay. Because of how power scales with auto attacks. Auto attacks aren't that high of damage as for magical characters, as they only scale 20% of their magical power. To explain what an auto attack cancel is specifically, when auto attacking, there are specific phases to an auto attack. Ao Kuang has a short action phase where the projectile comes out from the character, and an even shorter recovery phase to prepare for the next auto. Typically, you want, if something has a longer recovery phase, you can cancel that to weave into your next ability to make that preparation time shorter, or to simply negate it. As both are so short, it makes his auto attacks very hard to even auto attack cancel with, as each auto attack is very short. Ao Kuang doesn't have anything inside of his kit that would benefit from auto attacking. What is special about Ao Kuang's auto attacks is he has an auto attack chain. Ao Kuang swings in a 4 auto progression with a 1, half, half, 1 swing time, and doing 1.7.71 damage for each of those swings. So, to get the most out of his chain, even though it doesn't benefit him entirely, but to get the most out of his chain, you could cancel the last auto attack in the chain to restart the chain quicker, so you can get more effective damage from those shorter swings, as even though they take half the time of the normal auto attack, they do more than half the damage of one.
Kneel before me!
Playing Ao Kuang, you want to level your main clear ability first, as you want to farm. And your third ability will help you do that the best, starting off at 90 base damage, then getting each of your abilities as you level. Level 3, I like to put 2 points into his third ability, Wild Storm, to help you clear. And after putting 1 point into your ultimate at level 5, leveling your main clear until maxed, skipping any points you might put into your ultimate, as mid-game, you're using that more for the execute anyways, moving into maxing your second ability, Dragon Call, then maxing your first ability, Water Illusion, before finally putting points into your ultimate, maxing that out.
Behold my power!
So, to look at what a full rotation of what your abilities can look like is this. We'll start off when you're full commitment using your 1 to stealth in. You want to 1 up to the enemy. 2, 3 to start your engagement. And then auto until execute range. And then 4. And then you can jump away safely after you've fully killed your enemy. Then, probably the better way to take about your abilities is do a quick blink engage. So, still giving you the ability to flee if needed. So you want to blink in, and then 2, 3, then if you ever get low, or after you've gotten the kill, 1 to leave in safely. Then, a combo for when you've already engaged, fully utilizing your A canceling. This is more optional, but it'll get you to that higher damage potential, which is auto 3 times, 3, auto 3 times, 2, auto 2 times, 2 again to send the last dragon out to slow, and then auto 3 times, then either execute if they're low, or flee with your 1.
You taste wonderful.
Ao Kuang is one of the best 1v1 gods. The best! With a lot to learn, and if you choose to command the storms of the eastern seas and learn Ao Kuang, may your enemies be swept away by your dragon tides. I wish you luck chomping everyone on the battlefield, so you may take your rightful place among the gods and become the best god you can be.